this morning, Lord, we're gonna lift each other up and stand as one. Up this morning, every child of every mother, up we stand as one. Well, I know that woman's been heavy, child, and your folks been trapped in ice. Oh, but we can bring our sparks together till the bonfires are burning bright. Oh, you know we have the power now to make a new day for us this night. You have my love inside you, then you know. Let's lift each other up and watch it grow. Up this morning, Lord, we're gonna lift each other up and stand as one. Well, I know that we've all stumbled, child, and we're falling on our knees. Oh, I know we cried for peace and mercy when nobody's heard our pleas. Oh, but now the walls are falling down between us and them and we. You have no love inside you, then you know. Let's lift each other up and watch it grow. Watch it grow. Watch it grow. Give a little, give a little, give a little bit of love, give a little bit, don't be shy. Give a little, give a little, give a little bit of love, give a little bit, don't be shy. Up this morning, Lord, we're gonna lift each other up and stand as one. Up this morning, every child and every mother, up we stand as one. You have my love inside you, then you know. Let's lift each other up and watch it grow. Watch it grow. Watch it grow. Watch it grow. Up this morning, Lord, we're gonna lift each other up and stand.
I'm James Kirk. I'm Mitchie Hoyer, and you're watching simnews.tv.
Raceview.nl, where you and your league can get live timing updates every 2 seconds with stint analysis and an auto-generated track map, whilst also enjoying an overlay for your live broadcasts. Get your 30-day subscription on up to 3 servers for only $3.99. WCS League, where racing is entertainment, uses Raceview.nl for all their live timing. Why don't you check it out too?
Virtual Race Car Engineer 2020, the intermediate level tuning software for racers. Can you come up with your own baseline setup but are still slower than most? Don't know what to do when you gain that extra bit of speed to compete for podium spots? The Virtual Race Car Engineer is for you. Virtual Race Car Engineer fine-tunes your existing baseline setup to get the most out of your car, and fast, offering whole lap and corner specific advice. Virtual Race Car Engineer will get the very best out of your setup. In the process, the driver tailors the setup to his individual needs and feel. The end result is a comfortable, reliable, and fast race setup ready to challenge for the top positions. The 2020 version brings you even more car choices, more session choices, and individual car options than ever before. An improved lap wizard to tailor advice to your individual handling problems really makes all the difference. Have you always wanted a knowledgeable engineer by your side? Well, Virtual Race Car Engineer is just that, and means tuning your personal race car setups couldn't be easier.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of a WCS Voltage series. I'm David Carter. Alongside me once again is Iain Berryman, otherwise known as Mad Otter.
Hello all, thank you for having me back again. I'm here till the end now, actually. I'll keep saying thank you anyway.
That's all right. Much appreciated. You sticking your backside next to me in this commentary box. I say we are this evening at Mills Metropark, another Rfactor 2 Studio 397 track here today. Actually, one of the first ones that they brought up for Rfactor 2, actually. This is the inner loop A layout of the circuit. So we'll just see it in qualifying once again. I see a few of you in the chat as well. David H has already put in a message saying good evening. So a bit more information as well to come out about the Monaco race as well, which I'll discuss in a little while. Qualifying is up and running. 7 minutes to go in that. We've only got 1 lap time so far. But after a dramatic race in week 3 2 weeks ago, I don't even get the standings up on the screen, but dramatic turn of events happened there. You know, with 18 cars running there as well. Houses and incidents, crashes, reports going in, drama, and it all came out in the end with a very, very high attrition race. But the new team, Team LARP, with Mark Hutchinson, took the race victory that day as well on their debut as well. We've got the standings up now on screen. You see Matthew Clip top of the championship there as well by a few points, and then RSR ahead of the team's championship there by 14 points ahead of Flag to Flag and Cliffhanger Racing as well. Say LARP there already ahead of HM Engineering on 28 points, and expect quite a few teams to be shaking in the boots a little bit regarding LARP's pace and performance last time out after just 1 round. But that was then. This is now 6 minutes of qualifying left to go here. Soren Barbakov is only one of 2 guys who set a time. Milan Rakovic as well. Also the other guy setting that time there for Cliffhanger Racing here as well. But Iain, you know, a track that, again, quite a nostalgic track in some ways, but a lot of these guys wouldn't have driven in a long time. Could be interesting because a lot of opportunities to lift and coast, braking zones of these hairpins as well. Bit bumpy in places. Could be a bit of a nice challenge for these drivers once again here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously watching practice with yourself, turn 1 seems to be catching quite a few of the drivers out. So yeah, I'm predicting the last corner is going to throw up a bit of action. Me and Mike Pittman before were discussing it. The barrier sort of almost comes out of nowhere there, so anybody up the inside could well get squeezed into concrete hell.
And Cian White has actually binned it in the wall actually at the final corner as well. He's blown his lap time. Celso Ferreira's now coming through, I think, to finish his time. I was just actually start lap. Cian White is going to, fail to reverse over the start-finish line and parked it once again. Hygo Pym goes past.
Oh, he's off again.
Cian White, what a disaster. What an absolute shambles.
He's going to set this lap time if it kills it.
Oh, that's speed. How fast he's going across there as well. 76 miles an hour backwards. That's pretty impressive. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That puts him just 23.5 seconds off the pace, so not too bad considering he was backwards. Still all to play for, absolutely. But no, yeah, like I was saying, turn 1, last turn, I think they're definitely tricky. Turn 4 is another one as well. We've seen a few of the drivers, just some of them sliding around looking like they're straight out of Tokyo Drift, others looking like they're on the edge of losing it. But yeah, through practice, not really a big gap between most of them, was there? So expecting it to be fairly close. I think the top 10 were separated by less than about 8-9 tenths. In practice, obviously at the minute, Barbakov has got the provisional pole by quite a margin, but yeah, plenty of guys still to go out and set their laps. But yeah, could be another close one, David.
Hutchinson as well is on a pretty nifty lap. Race winner for last time out at Sardian Heights, and now he's currently, he's actually dropped a bit of time in the second sector there as well. 3 tenths off as he goes round the final corner in the LUP Racing Series team as well. He crossed the line.
Second.
Oh, he's only just away. He looks like he made a little mistake because he set a very, very fast final sector as well. So it's Barbakov from Hutchinson from Hygo Puma P3. Brinus for a 4th, Campbell Wallace 5th, Brackridge 6th. Obviously fighting for a championship here potentially. And Kim White as well, obviously, with his fairly dud time as well.
An interesting fact that we've just had fed to us, Mark Hutchinson has led every single lap that he has ever completed in WCS, so he'll be, not sure if he's aware of that one, but if he is, I'm sure he'd like to sort of keep that one going for a little bit longer. But yeah, very, very close at the front, 0.028, absolutely nothing between them there. Just trying to see who's on a lap at the minute as Michael Wilson is in the wall. So he's gone back to the pits now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laps left to come in. So Elliot is heading now. Oh, and he's lost it.
Spinning.
This is what I was saying about earlier, that some of them are sort of really controlling that drift around the corner, others just absolutely losing it, so bad luck for him.
Yeah, Philip Kraus is starting a lap debutant in the flag-to-flag machine, and he goes round turns 1, 2, and 3 now, this right-hand curb, which you've got to balance the power, it's very easy to understeer off and end up difficult braking zone there, because as you see there, the car shifting under brake and really going sideways. There's not a lot of grip at the back of the car. That goes towards this hairpin turn, the left-hander, turn 6, got to keep nice and tight. Try and get the power on smooth, and then you've got this little sort of left-hand kink with this right-hand braking zone there as well. It's one of those corners that you have to take slower than you think. And down this hill, it's again another tricky one. Downhill, a long left-hand, they got on the power, and pretty late actually out of there.
Matthew Klipp's just gone third, David.
Excellent stuff there. And Kraus there across the line. He goes pole by half a tenth. Great stuff there for the debutant, Philip Kraus. 4 flag to flag. He's ahead of Barbakov, ahead of Hutchinson. Obviously, Matt Klipp now down to 4. Ahead of his team at Hygo Puma, for instance. Ferrer, Wallace, Wilson, Rakovic, Kian White as well. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, we've got Cameron Roger on a lap. He's actually the last man to set a lap time. He's Elliott. And Ravel has messed up their lap as well. So Roger's going to be the last man to set a lap time here. 30 seconds of session left to go. He's on lap already. Roger's not doing a bad lap.
A bit of a lock up into the hairpin. And he's a little bit, I was going to say, is he wide into the last corner now? Just took a later apex. So where's he going to slot in? As you say, the final one for qualifying. And P7.
Bang in the middle. As he spins in frustration.
Or delight.
Yeah, Torvald Dean, but solo a little bit there, across the line. But that is qualifying all sorted out. And look at that, the top 3 separated by less than a tenth. Less than a tenth of a second there between the top 3. So ridiculously close. And then in that mid-pack as well there, in 4th to 7th, again, separated by about a tenth as well between those 4. So even though quantity's not so there maybe in this event, obviously we've had the 2-week break, people might have other plans, but it seems like we still have some decent racing anyway in this route week 4 of the series.
I think Kim White from 11th is going to be an interesting one to watch come through, as well as Rakovic, of course. But yeah, it's impressed to see the top 3 there separated by less than a tenth. So should make some good racing anyway. It's always entertaining if nothing else. So
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, the first 3 rounds. If for those who haven't watched the first 3 rounds, I mean, all the racing for maybe different reasons. I just see a cliffhanger car on the gravel there. They've all been really entertaining. Maybe not the biggest grids, but the racing's always been super competitive. They're racing hard for these positions, particularly last time out as well, where we had a pretty full grid. It was definitely entertaining.
It was
Probably
insane last time out, let's be honest.
Frustrated people after the race, must be said. But if you're watching that race like we was live, and it was a crazy event. It really was a crazy event. 4 minutes of warm-up left to go. Just as a reminder, our sponsor for this series is Virtual Race Car Engineer, where if you used to purchase that and use the promo code WCSROCKS, you will get a discount off there as well. And the link's in the description below of that as well for that. Also, the final round of Monaco, of course, I predict that we will get sign-ups open for that after this event, where we're going to open the grid up for everyone to take part. So we're going to have a WCS livery for people to step into who's not in a team, and just turn up and have some fun, basically. Hopefully get a nice big grid. We can have up to 39 cars, so we hope to see you there. If you're interested, we'll make plenty of opportunity for people to see it, advertise it around the social media as well. So hopefully get a few new names and old names as well join WCS and take part from that one-off final event as well. Is that something you'd be obviously you'll be in the comments box for that, Ian, but
yeah, I've got a good excuse for that one, haven't I? Yeah, it definitely. I mean, I think it's even if you've not particularly followed this series, perhaps you haven't heard of it. I think it's one that I think a lot of people would be interested in just having a go at. I mean, it's going to be fun if nothing else, isn't it? I mean, Monaco, these cars, it's got to be worth a go, surely.
Yeah, the E-Pre layout as well. So, it's obviously the E-Pre very short circuit, as well. So the leaders in that race are probably lapping cars after about 3 or 4 laps. That'd be great.
I mean, why wouldn't you make Monaco just a little bit more complicated? It's a great idea. I think it's going to be an incredible one to do comms on. Feeling quite blessed that we're going to be safe in the virtual comm box for that one, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah, taking a piss and everything would be great. Just having a laugh while you're doing it as well. Because obviously for the guys who've been taking part all season, they're going to take it serious and be like, 15, 20 cars or so, and turn up, just have a bit of fun. So for people who've done it all year, it is a bit of a pressure situation, but hopefully we can just have a bit of fun, make a special event out of it.
Definitely.
Get a few people from across different communities and different backgrounds involved as well. And hopefully get people all together as well. So, 1 minute 20 left of the session as well. Obviously, championship permutations, of course, second half of the season now as well, will be difficult for a few of the guys fighting for the championship, like Matt Clip and Rakovic as well, who are top 2 in the championship after the last event. RSR looking very, very strong for team championship as well. There we are. So Lewis McLeod's actually 3rd, but he's not here today. Pedro Mora was around, but he's not in the server. So I think he might have a couple of technical issues there as well. So it's a good opportunity today for some of the guys further back, like the Hutchinsons, for example, who did well last time out. The Barbakovs, Cam Roger, for example, Hargo Poom, they can maybe step up their game, get a few points that people missed out on as well. Campbell Wallace as well, another man who's not been spectacular, but he's been racking up the points in all 3 races so far. So wish them all well. No Drive Games here today. We have the Italian team here as well, but they've not got any cars here today whatsoever, which is a bit of a shame. But of course, actually, that's a very good point. The coronavirus might actually be affecting them in that aspect. So fingers crossed. We wish them all well.
Let's just hope we don't get demonetized. But no, like you say, for the middle of the pack in the standings there, Cameron Roger, I think you touched on a minute ago. currently P5 with 29 points. Obviously, P4 and P3, Lewis McGrade and Pedro Mora, both on 32 points. Like you said, aren't here today. So Cameron Roger, if he has a good race, could quite easily find himself in third, at least by the end of this one. So good opportunity for him. So he might be one to keep an eye on. I think he's probably got the most to gain here with the situation.
Yeah, definitely a bigger opportunity for a few of these guys today. The warm-up is now over, and it looks like the race is just about to tick over now. 45-minute race, of course, like always. And, you know, balance the energy out, but also obviously get to the finish, but also get up that grid as much as you can. And looks for Kean White, Rakovic as well, down in 10th. You know, they're in Ryan Elliott as well, back in 13th place. You know, they're three guys that we expect to make up the order. But I'll just run you down through the grid. So it's Philip Kraus for Flag to Flag, Storm Babcock for HM Engineering, Mark Hutchinson for LARP Sim Racing, then the two RSR cars, Matthew Clip, Hargo Poom, Renaissance Ferrer for Royal Blue Racing, Cam Roger in the second of the Flag to Flag Aurora cars, then Campbell Wallace for Cliffhanger, Michael Wilson for LARP Sim Racing, Milan Rakovic for Cliffhanger, and as well Kean White for LARP Sim Racing, Pepin Krajewalt for Royal Blue Racing, and Ryan Elliott in the third of the RSR cars as well. So, Ian, we're nearly there once again, you know, to kickstart another of these races. The Voltage, WCS Voltage Series is now, the 5 lights are out. And they're away. It looks like a very, very quick start there for Mark Hutchins. I thought he jumped the start, but
I did then, but it looks fairly good. Yeah, it doesn't look like he did jump it, but he's immediately, is he going to get second? No.
Philip Kraus
Philip
bowled a
Kraus.
few cars in the gravel trap as well. Right at the back of the field. Who's that? It's a Cliffhanger car in there. Krajewalt's in there. Zasperera and Campbell Wallace as well, all bottling it at the start. Babcock leads. Just in second place, and they've got a little bit of gap already from Hargo Poo, Matt Clip. Roger there in fifth as well. He's had a good start. Wilson and Kraus all the way down to seventh.
He's just about to whip up the inside of Wilson. Oh, they've actually come together, and he sort of half spun Wilson. That's given him the position. Not the fairest overtake I've ever seen, but he got the job done.
Oh, I think spinning around.
He is.
Is that Hargo? No, Ryan Elliott. That is. He's just turned him around there as well. Into that start the third sector there as well. And now Elliott's back. Race started at the back of the field.
Cameron Roger has managed to get past Matthew Clip as well on that opening lap. And Clip's just fallen back behind Philip Kraus into turn one. So, yeah, Philip Kraus going nowhere but backwards at the minute. But at the front, it looks like Barbakov's starting to pull a touch of a lead. I think Mark Hutchinson will keep him fairly honest, though. And Hargo Poom clinging on to the back of Hutchinson there. The gap's only about 4 tenths. So, yeah, what a... and in fact, we've got Ryan Elliott out of the race.
Already? You know, not even a lap he managed, and he's already out of this race. I think he had a spin as well off camera, so unfortunate for him, another retirement there for Ryan Elliott. But these three at the front, Barbakoff, Hutchinson, Hargo Poom at the front. And watch out for these two flag to flag guys as well. All season they've literally been together on track and made progress up through the field. They've had a cracking start here, up to 4th and 5th. Let's see how they progress.
Rakovic having a look. Oh, that was very, very naughty of Matthew Clip there. Rakovic up the inside of him, pushed him into the pit wall. It's killed his momentum that much. Kim White has now jumped ahead into P8, so Rakovic looking to go for 7th and found himself in 9th. But a very aggressive chop across from Matthew Clip there.
Yes, of course. Clip is going to be doing his damnedest to keep hold of his championship lead. For Rakovic, and of course now he's got Kean White.
The two flags have just swapped places. That's Kraus just gone past Roger into turn 5.
Yeah, the pole man doing his damnedest to make up for that poor start he had, going straight off into the gravel trap in turn excuse me, at the start. But now we're looking to, he's got his eyes on the lead cars ahead of him. He's going to look to do some very fast laps. He set the one of the fast laps on that last lap. He closed up to Hutchinson by 4 tenths in that lap. And everyone seems still fairly close together. You know, Cam Wallace tailing the field after going off turn 1 at the start, and he got the two Royal Blue cars, 10th and 11th as well.
So closest gap at the minute, I think, is Michael Wilson on the back of Cameron Roger. Cameron just seems to be struggling for a bit of pace at the start of this race, and Michael Wilson looks like he's got a lot more pace. I don't think he'll try anything into the last corner here unless he's brave. But might be worth watching into turn one because they're nose to tail as they come out the last corner together.
Yeah, it looks like Cameron's got a good run out the final corner there. He's going to hold the line unless Wilson goes for a lunge. No, he doesn't. He's insensible for now. Of course, out of these hairpins as well, obviously these cars are all torque. Very difficult to get on the power smoothly and not spin up the rear wheels. Of course, if you spin up the rear wheels, you're losing energy. You're losing that energy you're trying to save for the duration of this race.
So Barbakov leading now by 2 seconds. I was expecting Mark Hutchinson to be giving him a bit more of a hard time.
Spun. Apologies in there, but Clipper spun. He's driven into the side of one of the cliffhanger cars as he turned into the corner. Which one was that? That was Rakovic. So the two championship elite contenders have come together and Clip. It wasn't I don't think that was malicious. It was just unfortunate. Clip hit tapping the side of his car. Now all the way back down the back of the field, down to 12th.
It's not what you want when you're leading the championship, is it, really? With 2 rounds to go after this.
And of course, with points going all the way down the field as well, everyone turning up today, as long as they do 90% of the race distance, will score points. That also counts for fastest lap as well. If you do 90% of the distance, you'll get that as well.
Hygo Poom having a look up the inside of Hutchinson for second place, and he's got the move done. Hutchinson didn't really fight that, actually. Ended up, I don't know if he outbroke himself or something, but ran very wide, almost had Philip Krauss having a little look as well. So that's Hygo Poom up to second place. And the flag to flag of Philip Krauss is running very well at the minute, a lot better than Cameron Roger is. Definitely some wheel spin coming around the last corner. They're trying to get the traction down, see if he can get a run on Hutchinson into turn one, but I think he's just a little too far back on this occasion.
And Hutchinson, obviously, they was the dominant, him and Kean White, obviously until White's penalty at the very end of the race, were the dominant force last time out in Sardian Heights, but today they look like they've definitely got a race on their hands, trying to get past, obviously down in 3rd and 6th for Michael Wilson at the moment, 7th for Kean White. Still very good team performance, but not looking like the same.
It's good to see, though, isn't it?
Of course.
Great to see. I suppose credits go out to the guy that sorted these tracks out, Mr. Carter, because they've clearly done a bit of research here to get a good collection together.
It's definitely a mixture. I mean, next time out we're at Zandvoort, the club layout of Zandvoort as well, so that's going to be again another challenge once again. That's going to be definitely more energy saving. That's out. Looks like Kean White has dropped a couple of places as well, because now Rakovic has got past, Krajovic's got past as well, but Kean White's coming back at them straight away. He's trying to defend or make up lost time. Into turn one, nicely held on the inside.
Looks like he's got that place back, doesn't it? Has he? No, he's switched back. No.
Oh yeah, he's Krajovic's got there at the inside line, and he's in a hold position.
Good racing from the two of them, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Side by side. Don't think there was any contact. Nice to see after last time out.
Man to watch out for as well. Hygo Poom in P2. He's had a great start in this race, kept it clean, and now he's closing up very slowly to the back. He's
within a second now, isn't he? I didn't notice it. So Hygo Poom, he finished second last time out, so definitely be looking to improve on that. But I think Barbakov just made a bit of a mistake because he's just lost 1/4 of a second through turn 1 to Hygo Poom. The gap now 7 tenths. It was pretty much bang on a second as they went over the line. So Barbakov potentially struggling, potentially trying to save a bit of power, although probably not a good idea with a charging Hygo Poom behind you. But it looks like he's going to be trying to upgrade that second place and get a win.
Yeah, so of course Barbakov's had poor luck as well. I remember back at October, he was leading the race and then set his radio far too low and he burnt out after, not even half distance. So
that's right, he had it all taped up.
Yeah, so is this going to be redemption today for Stoyan Barbakov? as well as he lifts off early. Hyperpin trying to go around the outside. Ball, bit of a wiggle there into breaking and turning there from Barbakov. And don't count the two up behind as well. Hutchinson and Philip Kraus as well. Kraus is the pole man here today. And looking to make up the loss. But still a long way to go. We're not even 20% race distance yet. So a long way to go for the end of this race. We've got Roger, Michael Wilson 5th and 6th. Then another little group, Brakovic, Winnevout, Kian White, Salsa Ferreira, Campbell Wallace, and Matthew Clip there, rounding out the runners and riders.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some sparks flying in a minute between the top two. I go from all over the back of Barbakov out that last corner there. Could we see a move into turn one? What's the gap? It can't be any more than a couple of tenths. It's 1/10 as Barbakov goes defensive. Can Poom go round the outside? Unlikely, but can he get a better exit off this corner? The other two behind, Hutchinson and Kraus, just watching on. Like you say, they're definitely not out of this. They're two to keep an eye on as we go on. But Barbakov doing a fair job, I suppose, in defending. He did go defensive a couple of corners ago, put his car in the right place.
And Kraus is down the inside. He's making a move down inside of Hutchinson there for P3. So after being all the way down in the mid-pack, he's made up the time, made up progress as well. And looking really strong here for Flag to Flag. Could he be in line to take Flag to Flag's first victory this year? Certainly on the cards.
It's a great little series to watch, isn't it? I mean, there's action everywhere. Obviously, I didn't commentate on the first one with yourself, Carter, but
got a car off in the background. Croyvout's gone off for Royal Blue, and well, where's he done that? You know, that's looks like he's oversteered over a bump. Yeah, he's behind his teammate, and he just lost the back end and then trying to recover on the grass, whacked the wall, spun around. Now at the very tail of the field, that moves Wallace up to 10th and Matt Clip up to 11th position as well.
So, where are we now? 10 minutes into the 45.
Drifting Hygo Poom, that's where we are at the moment. Look at that. Great car control.
I was just on board with Barbakov looking back and I saw it happen. He's got a cracking exit off the last corner as a...
Barbakov playing all defensive a bit naughty there, but just got away with it. I think Poom had to lift off.
Barbakov's lost it.
Poom's going around the outside. Oh, what a great move this will be from Hygo Poom. He's up the power a little bit, I think. Got a great run out the corner, and he's going to take the lead. He's down the inside. Barbakov trying to hold it around the outside, which he does do pretty damn well. Barbakov getting stuff in both, but watch out for Kraus. Kraus is going to get the run out of this corner. Look at this, 3 cars now back for the lead. Poom steps out. Barbakov's really defending with all his worth, isn't he? Look at that.
He's got to.
Crazy
He's absolutely got to. Wow, I'll tell you what, if Hygo Poom would have pulled that move off around the outside, that would have been one for move of the season so far. But yeah, Barbakov, again, doing a great job of just holding that position and keeping his car in just the right position. But yeah, Philip Kraus, I think he thought he might have had a nice position gain there for a second, all very close, but everybody driving really nicely, which is always good to see.
And 4 different cars in the top 4 places as well. That's been a theme this year. Apart from the last time out, it's been a theme that it's with different cars being at the top positions, which is really positive to see. And look at this. You know, as I just noticed as well, it's got a little bit now for that, but Roger and Michael Wilson 5th and 6th are closing the gap a little bit as well. So yeah, it's all concertinaing up a little bit. Again, it's it's great to see because it's a few cars now drifting out of there into the sector 3 to find the part of the lap. They have to get the car back into control. Hygo Poom's going for it again. Don't think he can quite get the run out of that corner because he's always been forced to go on the outside of this corner. Barbakov likes that inside line. Kraus he's been patient. I think he's not overdoing it. You know, he's been patient. He knows it's a long game. We're not even 1/3 into this race.
I wonder if Barbakov's turning his energy up out of turn 3 or whether he's just getting that much more traction out of there, because every time they're all closed up through 1 and 2, Barbakov seems to rocket out there. So if he is turning his energy up or having a bit of a boost there, he's got to be careful doing that lap after lap, because that will come back to bite him, obviously, towards the end of the race.
So people who don't know this mod, you can do the boost between 1, which is the lowest, and 10, which is the highest. You can just do it on the fly. So you can just switch the path wherever you want.
Defensive again. Boom once again, fourth to the outside. It's a good strategy so far by Barbakov to keep him out there. There's a bit of a slide, but he manages to keep the apex there, stops Poom from being able to switch back on him. I wonder how many laps he's going to successfully do that. He takes one little slip on the brake pedal just to lock up, and it's easy to throw away. So be interesting to watch to see. And Kraus just sat there waiting for his opportunity. Like you said, being very patient, not going for anything silly. But I think they've both got the pace, a better pace than Barbakov at the minute, so it won't be long.
So yeah, Barbakov, every time he goes through that turn 1 as well, that hairpin, he's got the apex in that corner like it's his favourite granny. As Poom nearly gets a bit of oversteer out the corner, but he seems to get a great drive as well as a result. Again, not quite close enough. I'd say there is things going on further back, but this is both far away. The close battle. There was a bit of contact there between Barbakov and Poom, and Kraus had some avoiding action as well. He's front free though. You know, we're now 1/3 distance in this race.
See the gap Barbakov pulls on Poom every time out of turn 2 to turn 3. Absolutely drops him by about half a second.
Yeah. I think that's his special mode he might be using down actually to get the driver out of the corner, flip the switch, bolt up the road a few meters, and let's give it. I think Poom's definitely better in this section of tracks. He seems to be closing the gap most of the time. Oh, and look at that,
he gone? No.
drifting around.
Held it very nicely. So this is going to allow Poom to close up once again as they get onto the pit straight. Is he going to unleash some extra power to see whether he can get the move done this time round? Doesn't look like it. No, it's probably a bigger gap this time out than what it was the last couple. Oh well, it's keeping us on the edge of our seats anyway, David.
Yes, yeah. It is, you know, obviously it's a lot of laps already gone in this race. So on the 18th lap now, expecting around about 54, 55 laps in his race. So, Barbakov's going to have a lot of practice to get this thing to fix right over the course of the next half an hour or so.
Just a little update on Matthew Klipp. Obviously, had that unfortunate incident at the beginning of the race, put himself last. He's now into the top 10. And I've just been keeping an eye on the gap between him and the leaders. It's been around 15 seconds now for the past few laps. So although he is obviously down in 10th, he's keeping pace. So not going slow by any means. So it'd be interesting to see though, because he's not far off the back of Ferreira in 9th. So it'd be interesting to see how he can work his way back through. As actually Ferreira runs wide on the last corner, gets on the curb, and that allows Matthew Klipp to go straight up into 9th place.
Oh, Hygo Poom spun. Hygo Poom spun at the front of the field. He's almost taken out Kraus. Oh, is Kraus going to hold that? Yes, he is. Hygo Poom there, though, with a 360-degree spin, and this was fighting with Barbakov. Going out of turn 2. I didn't get this on replay, but Barbakov's given Hygo Poom a little shove, and it's a little touch on the grass. But what a catch there from Hygo Poom to do a 360-degree spin.
Side by side with Kraus now. They're trying to get back.
Side by side with Hygo Poom as well. Is Philip Kraus fighting for second here now.
I turn my attention away for 1 second.
Oh, dearie me.
But if that's all it takes, we'll go on board with Campbell Wallace for a minute, see what happens up at the front.
See what else we're going to miss. No, that's...
he did very well to keep that after that 360.
Look at this now. 7 cars in the same shot almost out of turn 1.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, Barbakov needed that, didn't he? He needed to have a little bit of a few laps to relax after all that defending. So he'll have a little grin on his face.
He's going to have the pole man, the debutant, Philip Kraus, going to be his next mercenary.
But as we said a few laps ago, Hutchinson and Rogers were closing up. Like you say, they're almost there. A couple of car lengths off the back of Poom now, maybe. So this could get very spicy with all 5 of them nose to tail.
So if you are enjoying this racing so far, and you want to take part 2 weeks' time, we're going to be at the Monaco E-Prix, and we're going to open up the grid for as many as you want to race. Up to 39 cars. And you say you've only got 13 people taking part today. That's a lot of spaces for you to bring your mates along to have a crack at Formula E at Monaco, and that'll be free to enter, and you've been your own, obviously, WCS liveried car for that one. But I say, have some fun, just join along. It's only one evening, it's only a 45-minute race. Put a bit of practice in, enjoy yourselves, and get involved in the WCS community as well. We look forward to seeing you there, or as many of you there as possible. But to say, this racing up front, 6 cars fighting for the lead. As we did notice, I think one car has dropped back a little bit. It's no, I am mistaken. It's just 6 cars.
Roger, isn't it? Yeah.
Rakovic is on the tail now for cliffhanger. Let's say it's 5 different teams in the top 6 places here with Flag to Flag running 2nd and 5th. It's front 3 closing up once again.
And Barbakov's insane exit off of turn 1 through 2 just gives him that bit of breathing space. He's back up to 6/10. It's becoming a bit repetitive now. It'll be down to about 1.5 tenths by the start finish line.
Yeah.
But he's doing what he needs to do to keep his first place, and he's clearly figured out the best places to use that energy, the best places that he knows he can defend, and it's working very, very nicely for him. But Hygo Pum not really able to do too much about getting his 2nd place back, so it shows Kraus, again, not just tagging on the back, he's got the pace to be there. So if he can catch up and get on the gearbox of Barbakov, it'll be interesting to see what his strategy is going to be to try and get around him, and whether Barbakov can fend off from that. But right now, seems to be working.
Working very, very well. And the thing is, a short lap like this, the more times you do it, the more sort of prepared you are, but it's very easy also to overcompensate or get overconfident thinking, pretty simple this time around, and you make an easy mistake. But I'd say Barbakov has been, firm, but also on the limit. On the limit is probably a better thing to say.
Firm, but fairly fair.
Fairly fair.
Just a quick shout out, not so much a shout, just to respond to the chat. Selim asks, I wonder if the commentators read the chat. No. Next question. Of course we read the chat. Too much action going on. If we do miss anybody saying anything in the chat, we'll come to you as soon as this car's not spinning and overtaking and everything else.
More like coming to you looking for a job.
Yeah, well,
maybe, but
Barbakov sideways again. But can Philip Kraus do anything? Tell you what, he's a lot closer through this section than what anybody has been. But again, it's such quick, fast corners here. There's not really too much you can do. With the hairpin coming up, I think Barbakov will turn that power up a little bit. Looks like he has.
I'll tell you, a good run out
Safe
of
for another lap
as well. Kraus was a little bit sideways going out of that long left-hander, so that was the breathing space that Barbakov needed. But for Barbakov now, this is the danger zone, because this is where he's been a little bit skittish. Because look how much Kraus is closing in there. Look at that, he's trying to back up the pack.
I wonder if he's sort of doing a bit of energy saving through the last and the first corner, knowing that he can defend there.
Very good point.
To allow him, as he goes a little bit defensive. I think he might have expected Kraus to have a stab there. But yeah, I wonder if that's his strategy, just sort of recovering that energy there, knowing that it's not too much of a threat, he can deal with it, and giving him that extra bit to power through 2, 3, and 4.
We're now coming up to the halfway distance of this race. Next few seconds also, and look at that, the top 6 all in one shot in this race, and been a stunning job from them. Just looking further back to Michael Wilson, 7th, Kim White in 8th, Matthew Clip now 9th, ahead of Campbell Wallace in 10th, South Ferreira in 11th, and Humboldt at the back of the field. But Battle at the front of the field looking really, really good. And a race to attrition as well, and it's going to take one little error is all it's going to take, and you could be at the front and all the way at the back of this train, and maybe worse as well if it's really bad, that you bad luck or bad it's that you get involved with. But as the race goes on, Ian, do you think that this is going to get closer and closer? Like I've always used to call it the pressure cooker effect.
Yeah.
So much is going on for so long, so much bound to happen.
I think if Barbakov can keep this till the end, it's going to be a heroic drive, an absolute heroic drive. But like you say, all he's got to do is snatch a break, get a little bit off that line and run wide, and he's going to have Kraus, Poom, and potentially Hutchinson getting involved in that. I've just noticed Cameron Roger, who was 5th, is now down to 6th place behind Rakovic.
Yeah.
So apologies if we missed that. I don't know when it happened, but somebody else getting involved. There you go. You've now got 6 different. Have you got 6 different cars in the top 6?
It's 5 different cars in
5
the
in the
top
top 6. Sorry, yeah, 5 different. Gotcha.
There we go. Oh, and Poom's looking down the inside of Kraus. No, to no avail. Hutchinson as well for the LARP sim racing team, going through the veranda into this difficult left-hand break. And this is where I think it's normally the catalyst of potential incidents. That corner is such a difficult one. And you run up to this hairpin if you get a good run, and then into this hairpin braking zone. You've got to be sort of side by side there to make the move stick. But that's normally a catalyst for incidents to begin through that particular right-hander, and then braking zone into that left one as well, because it is a bit bumpy.
So we've got a question just come in from Korku Anama. I hope I pronounced your name correct. These cars, do they lose energy like in real life, or is there a different type of system? Go on, Carter, you can have that one.
Yeah, they do lose energy like the real thing. The only thing we don't have here is fan boost and attack mode. We don't have those implemented into Rfactor 2, unfortunately. But yes, they do lose power, and you can't just jump in the pits to recharge your car or anything like that. You got 100% of energy like the real thing, and you've got to strategically adjust the power modes, adjust your driving style to suit to make sure you get to the end of the race. It's a great question actually, because obviously on the stream it doesn't look so obvious.
Nope.
But yeah, they have all got to manage their energy. That's why they're not going around a million miles an hour. Unfortunately, they're all sort of taking their time a little bit compared to qualifying, and they've all got to not only race as hard as they can to beat the guys ahead, but obviously manage the energy they've got to use as well, and do all the calculations on the fly as well. And Rfactor's made his way past as well. We caught camera
Tell you
down.
what, Kraus looked like he was hanging on to the outside of Barbakov through turn 1 there. Little tiny bit of contact. I think he was just trying to see whether he could find the grip there, but not quite. But that's put him off now, and Hygo Poom has actually got somewhat of potentially an opportunity. Is he going to have a look? He sort of stepped out, but I think he thought better of it. So not a lot happening there. Sorry to jump over you, David.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'll tell you, Rakovic is a dark horse. He started off quiet, and he's now been moving up the order. He got closer up to his battle to start with, now moving his way through the field into 4th. Now he's hounding on the back of Hygo Poom. He's looking dangerous. He's looking very dangerous, and I think he's going to fly a bit under the radar here, potentially.
I think eventually one of these is going to just throw it up the inside on Barbakov. He's lifting and braking so much earlier than everybody else. I think patience will run out. I think more towards the end of this race if nobody's got past, and I think we could see somebody going for an absolute dive bomb.
Final 5 minutes would be interesting, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But again, we've
being,
got the top 6, like you say, almost nose to tail at this point, separated by just over 2 seconds. Doesn't really get much closer than that, does it?
No, it really doesn't. As I said, quality not quantity. And every race, you kind of think, oh, it ain't going to happen in this race. But honestly, every race has been good. Let's look at Rakovic down inside. They contact there from Hygo Poom. Actually gets a bad run at the exit there, just Rakovic. And watch out for Hutchinson. Is he going to...
that was a brave move from Rakovic.
Cameron Rogers looking down the inside of Hutchinson. No, doesn't take that opportunity either.
Yeah, very brave move into that last corner. Yeah, I don't know if that's the smartest one.
So he got, if the opportunity presents itself, as long as there's no sort of risk, so it's worth having a go. But you just see how much momentum he lost as a result. They had to obviously use extra power to get back up to speed again. So all those little bits of energy that you use up, spinning the wheels, understeering wide, have to get back on the power, use more power to make up what you lost. It's all very. It can make a huge effect because at the end you obviously want to use as much power as you can to attack for longer at the end of this race as well. So now you can see as well, it's just separated a little bit. It's almost like 2 groups of 3 now.
Changing all the time as once again Barbakov takes that defensive line, slows it all down nice and early, knowing that the only place Kraus can go is to the outside and he can do nothing with it. So yeah, really clever driving from Barbakov at the minute.
They're going to name that Apex after Barbakov after this race, aren't they? Go to Studio 397 say, can I have a Barbakov head? That'd be,
I think if he can hold this to the end, he's earned that, definitely.
Because he's doing that now, you're on the 32nd lap of this race, over halfway now. We're getting actually nearly towards 2/3 distance more than anything else. Barbakov, oh, look at this. Oh, and Rfactor nearly hits that wall on the inside. It's like almost a bit of a blind wall there. So if you take that last corner too tightly, there's a wall meeting you. So you've got to be very careful because you can easily get distracted with what's going on ahead of you. Especially with Barbakov going sideways like that as well.
The press went a bit wide as well, but got a very good exit because of it. This is just simmering, isn't it? It's going to go over boil in a minute, I think. Give it another 10 minutes and we're going to see everybody just... Because potentially you can go right the way back to Cameron Roger. If the guys ahead get it wrong and there's any kind of incident, there's podium positions up here up for grabs for absolutely everybody.
Hutchinson and Roger are smart guys, they've been around Sim Racing a long time, they're not silly. I think they're in this for the long game and see what these other 4 are going to be up to for the remainder of this race. Hutchinson runs wide out of that final 4 actually, and now Roger's all over the back of him.
Kraus is all over the back of Barbakov, but again, Barbakov instantly taking that inside line and just leaving nowhere for Kraus to go. So they're going to have to try something different. They're just doing the same thing lap after lap after lap. Isn't working for Kraus. That's all. He's going to have to get creative somewhere and try something different. Otherwise, he's just going to be playing follow the leader for the next 15 minutes.
So into this second airplane one more time. Hyder puts down the inside of Kraus. Kraus had to correct the car there.
Rfactor gone in the back of Poom because of it as well.
Yeah.
When I say get creative, that's not quite what I meant.
Yeah, looking further back, there's nothing really going on, so we're still going to focus on these 6 cars. Rfactor runs a little bit, take a late apex into there. And as you say, boiled over, it's like 6 hot boiled potatoes in the pan, isn't it? And it's going to be hot potatoes, potentially, if it all...
Has Barbakov did well to hold it, and that's allowed Poom, who's also lost the back end, so he had the opportunity to take second there potentially. Yeah, this is going to boil over in a big way, I'm predicting.
Crazy stuff here, it's I hope there's more action as well, I hope these guys are not just going to follow the leader. It's impressive that they can follow each other like this for so long, but you want to see some action, guys, go for it.
It's going to happen.
No, one of these guys is going to go for it in a big way. It's either going to pay off brilliantly or it's going to go horribly wrong. But we'll find out. We'll find out. We've got pretty much 3/4 this way.
So only one retirement, which is brilliant. I mean, ideal if we had none, but yeah, just Ryan Elliott out of the race, unfortunately, on the first lap. Everybody else is still going.
And if he just finished, he would have got some points as well, because RSR top of the championship, and of course he's the team boss. So, we'd have thought they'd have been it for a team championship just to help solidify their position at top. But no, chose not to do that. It's his choice, of course. We're definitely seeing more of him though in the last couple of rounds. Kraus looks like he's got a decent run out there.
Yeah, he's closer, isn't he? So head to the head.
Oh, he's trying to find a move. Oh, he's looking down the inside.
Is he going to do it?
Too late. Shoves him out of the way. Look at that. Slides down the inside of a brief piglet. And there he goes into the lead.
And that's Poom through to second as well. So he made the move early. I think Barbakov tried to shut him down.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything intentional there, as I tell you what, I got Poom's ready to take the lead of this race, isn't he? I thought he got up the inside of Kraus into the last corner. But yeah, a little bit messy, but yeah, we knew it was coming. Somebody was going to have to try something, and yeah, he's made it work, to be fair.
Oh, lunge. Oh, is Rfactor going to try and go down the inside now of Barbakov? Barbakov managed to hold on there. And this is where we know Barbakov's pretty good, into this sort of right-left complex into the braking zone, and we know he's pretty good out of this corner. Hits the power on nicely, and look at that, just pulls that way a few meters as well.
Gets that bit of extra energy, I think. It's paying dividend there.
Yeah. Kraus now back to the position where he started. He started pole, fell all the way back after a rough start, now back in the lead with 11.5 minutes to go. I'll go Puna in P2 as well. After being able to so long at the start.
This will show us whether Barbakov was just holding everybody up, saving a bit of energy, or whether he just doesn't have the pace now, because he's dropped back by almost a second to Boom already. So, yeah, is it going to be a case that he can get back on and try and salvage something, or is Rakovic going to be taking the bottom step of that podium?
So we'll find out. All he needs now is a calm head, because easy when you have a move like that, it can be a bit controversial. But you've got to keep a calm head and try and do the job as best as you can. But he got a little bit squiggly out of there as well. So the front two, Kraus and Hugger battling on for the lead of this race with 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go on the timer. Just to recap at the further back, second half of this field, Michael Wilson 7th, Kim White in 8th, Matthew Clipp in 9th then, now scrapped away between the three of them. Cameron Wallace in 10th, and then 2 Royal Blue racing cars, Brynner Susfer and Ryan out there at the back of the field.
So what do you think's made the difference then with Wilson and White obviously pretty much dominating the last round? Do you think just the different characteristics of the track doesn't suit them very well?
Possibly. I know they've had a busy week as well. May not put in so much practice. With the rest of respect, it's they've probably got higher priority things to worry about potentially. It's obviously they're not doing the full season this year, but I think they just suited the track. They got the setup where they wanted to. Speaking of setup, Roger has set up Hutchinson there like a perfectly well there, and he's now up to 5th place. So that's laps 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it could have been just down to the setup. Literally, might have just found something and thought, wow, it worked really well, because they won the race at the end there by about 35 seconds, I believe.
Oh, yeah, they dominated, didn't they? Absolutely dominated. So Barbakov now falling back. So it doesn't look like at this point, anyway, he's got the pace to keep with Kraus and Poom. But again, the last sort of 5 minutes, it can all suddenly come back to life again. So you just never know.
It's like Kraus and Poom have fled the border, haven't they? And now they're running as fast as they can, haven't they? So fantastic stuff. And they're bolting up the road as well. Fastest lap actually at this race is Rfactor as well. 53.368. So that'd be a bonus point if he can. Nearly at 90% distance now. Actually, I think 5 minutes time will be there. So he's looking good for that bonus points at the moment. But of course, the people have saved up energy. They might be going for a final bolt for that fastest lap.
Yeah, I don't think Hygo Poom's quite finished with Kraus yet, as we've got
Barbakov holding the ball.
Yes, yeah.
Running outside.
Very late on the break.
He's turning against him, but that's a great move if you can hold that. It looks like it's a bit of argy-bargy. And a side-by-side still. Rakovic riding the curb.
I think that's going to give Barbakov...
running outside. Drifting as well. Can he get that? Can he get that stop? He can!
Whoa, what a great pass. What a move. And I'll tell you what, Cameron Rogers is going to come straight through on Barbakov as well.
They're
There's more argy-bargy.
And they're going to spin around. Rakovic saves it. But Barbakov suffered. Barbakov suffered big time there.
Massively. There's Cameron Roger potentially up to 3rd, no, back to 4th. Looks like he just outbroke himself and kind of collected everybody along the way there.
And Roger now sensing the opportunity to go up to that P3. That is an incident that could be reported.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Barbakov here at a 0, 1st to 6th. That's really going to change the race. As I said earlier, pressure could boil over, and something's bound to happen, and it unfortunately has. For Stoyan Barbakov, you could argue 2 incidents there that's not gone his way.
No, definitely.
Back at the front, look at the gap that these two have at the front. Philip Kraus and then Hygo Poom as well. Yeah, 3-second gap. Also, yellow flag as well. And there's a car on the wall. Kleinveld has hit the wall.
Yeah, he's round.
Going to be a lap down in a second, I think. He got the back. He's a now back marker because he's got the leaders coming up towards him. Oh, he's nearly lost it. He's going to have to get out of the way, and he does very, very well. Fair play to him.
Yeah, it's good to see when they don't get involved. Don't see that very much in real life, but good to see that we've got it going on here.
Yeah, I say it's more of a community spirit here rather
That's
than
it, exactly.
cut and thrust of competitive sim racing where strategic minds and mind games can be at play sometimes. But I say back up front, so let's get a bit of calmness going on. Let's review what's been going on. So Philip Kraus leads there by just about a second. I go Poon, and then Rakovic in P3. As it stands, he'll be taking the championship lead from Matthew Clip as the result stands so far. Okay, Cameron Roger in P4, Mark Hudson in 5th, Stone Barbacop in 6th. Then we've got the two lap racing cars. Michael Wilson, Kean White, Matthew Clipstone in 9th position, Cameron Wallace in 10th, and then Sales Ferrer in 11th, and now Rfactor is now a lap down in P12. Now we've not got that long left to go. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
Goes very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've reckoned about seven laps left or so, maybe 8 at a push. They're doing really, really well today.
So Philip Kraus extending that lead at the minute. I wonder if he's sort of thinking, use a little bit of energy now, get myself a buffer, potentially, but obviously depends what Hygo Poon's doing. If he's still sort of saving, he might have something to fight back with. But yeah, those two just leaving everybody else standing, aren't they?
They are, because I say, the gap. Well, actually, Rakovic has closed up a little bit. Actually, the gap was about 3 seconds, now down to 2.3. So it's of course now it's got the back marker now to deal with. Roundabout was well. Let Roger
managed
through.
to keep just about out of the way there, didn't he? Not the ideal place to catch a back marker, but they sort of dealt with it reasonably well.
Now 5 minutes to go now in this race, but now Kraus pulling the gap out now to Hygo Poon, 1.7 seconds. The Kraus has now got his foot down. He might have saved up a little bit of energy. Oh, he gets a tag slapper there.
Yeah.
Breaking. Look at that. He's going to lose some time there. That's one thing for sure. That's a few tenths, but yeah, he did a great catch there. The wheel could have very easily been trying to be ripped at the hands out the wheel there. Oh, and there's been contact behind. And I think Wilson has been involved in an incident there. Well, hash it on We've on my screen. Oh, he did a Hygo Poon pretty much, and his contact with his teammate actually as well. With Kean White, but Kean White got away with it. But Matt Clip's up to 8th. As a result, much needed positions game here for Matthew Clip.
Yeah, obviously Clip in the championship battle with Rakovic at the minute, separated by 13 points, 47 to 34. So, I mean, at least Clip's going to get some points again. It can all change, obviously, especially as we get into the last 5 minutes now. But yeah, he should still potentially be leading the championship as we finish this race. I mean, if it's
very close, yeah,
very close, yeah,
very close between.
If it stays as it does, of course. So I got him.
Oh,
yeah, Barbacop is dropping like a stone. He's got Kean White all over the back of him. So is he running out of energy? Is he now having to... Oh, there's contact.
He's running out of panels to be bashed, isn't he? Because
Cameron Roger is now up to... Yeah,
Rakovic just had a spin as well off camera. We're going to catch that. As Rakovic, he loses the back end. And he just spins around on the grass. He just couldn't catch the car. So Rakovic down to 5th. Cameron Rogers up to 3rd now for flag to flag. So it's a flag to flag 1 and 3 are strong in these races, than in qualifying necessarily. Hudson's now up to 4th, Rakovic 5th, White in 6th, but Barbacop's down to 7th and now down to 8th. As Matthew Clip goes past, but you're absolutely right. Rakovic could be running out of energy. He might have just pushed too hard for far too soon.
He is going very slowly. Through the corners, he seems to be lifting and really letting it go through the corners.
Yeah, letting it go through so much, he's hit the back of Matt Clip's car as well. But Michael Wilson is looking to capitalise now as well. So again, on it yet again. He was in the lead at Tobin Long. I seem to remember he bottled it there as well. With the Coulomb. Obviously, the ball riding incident last time out as well at Sargent Heights, and then in the race there he had a pretty rough time of things as well. So yeah, he's got so much potential, Barbacop. He just cannot
think Wilson's going to have a look up the
Converted
inside.
away.
Yes, he does. Can he get the move done on Barbakov? As big slide drift into the corner there. That's one way of defending your position, I suppose.
Yeah, it reminds me of Nelson Piquet, 1980, I want to say 87, against Ayrton Senna of Hungary. That drift move around the outside to take the lead. Probably the wrong year completely, but that's exactly what
I was going to say, I'm impressed because in '87 I was 2 years old and I'm older than you. So yeah, good knowledge.
But looking back further at the front of this field, Hygo Poom, he was in a great position. He's now not only dropped back to Kraus, but now all over the back.
Michael Wilson in the wall.
He is as well. P9 he's now down to as well, which he was anyway, and it's exactly the same thing where the cars run wide, hit the grass on the exit of the start of sector 3, and he's had a spin.
Cameron Roger is a huge threat to Hygo Poom now. The gap is down to 3 tenths and he's up the inside. Has he got the move done? Yes. Very, very clean. Very easy move. I wonder if Poom is now having to save a bit of energy as well because Cameron Roger just rocketed past him. So that's flag to flag 1-2, yeah.
With 35 seconds remaining. So this lap that Philip Kraus is going to start now will be the last lap of this race. Look at that, there he goes across the line for the penultimate time, ahead of Roger from Poom, from Hutchinson in fourth. Hutchinson could be in a shout here to get a podium if Poom's having problems with power. It's going to be interesting. Rakovic fifth, Kean White is sixth as well. He's closed up to the back of the Serbian driver as well. Is he trying to make a move down to turn one? No, Rakovic defends the line. Don't think anything else is really going on. They're going battling, but it looks like there. Yeah, White is passed.
Yeah, White's just passed Rakovic.
And here we go. Into
And Hygo Poom's down to fourth.
Hutchinson's through, down the inside of Hygo Poom. So Hutchinson's using that extra boost, extra power to get past into third, but give respect to the leader now. Philip Kraus, who had the pole, made the mistake at the start, dropped back to seventh. He's fought his way through into the winning position, and he wins week 4 here at Mills Metropark in a Loop A. Takes the checker flag for flag to flag. Cameron Roger,
second place.
Great
What a day
stuff
for
there.
flag to flag then.
Flag to flag, you know, they've been strong all season. Let's say not got onto the top step, but here they are with 1-2 here today. Mark Hutchinson in the end having a great day for LARP again. P3 ahead of Hygo Poom.
Matthew Clip is crawling, but I think he's going to keep sixth. Barbakov is getting closer and closer. Yeah, Matthew Clip keeps sixth, so yeah, run out of energy.
Yeah, and Rakovic in the end ended up P9. I wonder if, Rakovic actually ran out of power.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's out.
He's down to 11th.
And Bender in the wall, apparently.
So there
we go. Clip definitely keeps the championship lead.
He does.
But
you know,
that turned around
Wilson
very
8th.
quickly, didn't it?
Starts for 9th. Campbell Wallace in 10th. Rakovic will end up in 11th, but will get the points for 11th because he 90% of the distance, I believe. And Pepin Crave out with the final finish up with Ryan Elliott, of course, DNF after lap 1. And Roger as well, cruising around the circuit with hardly any power. So good job he's not part for me. Take each other out.
Just taking just a very quick one for you, David. 182 Craigie says it was 1986 with PK. So
yeah, good knowledge though. I thought you might know that. The old Williams biasness there, but thanks for that, Mr. Patterson. I really appreciate that. And that has been a great week 4 here.
Hasn't it just?
This evening, you know, again, lower the numbers than was last night, but still cracking racing out. About 6 cars back for the win. Fantastic. But
going back to chat, I think Selim asking who's running the cams. Looks like he wants to do cams for the next race, so we'll let Mike Pitnam know.
yeah. Take my job if he wants. But fantastic stuff. So again, next time out, we'll be at Zandvoort Club Circuit, the club layout of the track, the short layout. So that again is going to be numerous amount of laps. That track's going to be more difficult on the power. So energy saving once again going to be a big key there few of you probably asking or thinking, "Oh, we're gonna have the new layout of Zandvoort." No, we're not. Sticking with the same old layout. We're not gonna have the bank turn anything like that. It's gonna be old traditional layout of Zandvoort, and the first part of the like sector 1 and sector 3 that basically joined together. And I say, hopefully we'll get this bit on the forum sorted. Where if you want to sign up for the last round at Monaco, in 2 weeks' time, get part of that. We'll get you livery sorted so you can just join the race and take part there as well. And I say, don't take it seriously. Just have a bit of fun. That's what the last race will be all about. Of course, thank you for our sponsors as well. RaceView keeping us all our mods all sorted out, up to date, making it easy for you to download as well. Obviously, RaceView, News TV, Virtual Race Car Engineer is obviously sponsoring the series as well. Don't forget that promo code WCS Rocks. Type that in, get you 10% off as well. And obviously, big thanks to the man who's had to put up with me once again, the poor sod, Ian.
It's all right. Very much. Believe it or not, I kind of enjoy it.
Well, I said you was a good actor. That's why you're here. And also, obviously, Mike Pittman for all the hard work he puts in behind the scenes, as well as doing the cameras tonight, for example. So, big thanks to Mike as well.
Not bad at the cams, is he?
Nah, right. Better eyes than me. Regarding the camera. But we'll be seeing you next week, same time, same place. Take care, guys. We'll see you
Take care, everybody. See you next time.
Raceview.nl, where you and your league can get live timing updates every 2 seconds with stint analysis and an auto-generated track map, whilst also enjoying an overlay for your live broadcasts. Get your 30-day subscription on up to 3 servers for only $3.99. WCSLeague, where racing is entertainment, uses Raceview.nl for all their live timing. Why don't you check it out too?
Virtual Race Car Engineer 2020, the intermediate level tuning software for racers. Can you come up with your own baseline setup but are still slower than most? Don't know what to do when you gain that extra bit of speed to compete for podium spots? The Virtual Race Car Engineer is for you. Virtual Race Car Engineer fine-tunes your existing baseline setup to get the most out of your car, and fast, offering whole lap and corner specific advice. Virtual Race Car Engineer will get the very best out of your setup. In the process, the driver tailors the setup to his individual needs and feel. The end result is a comfortable, reliable, and fast race setup ready to challenge for the top positions. The 2020 version brings you even more car choices, more session choices, and individual car options than ever before. An improved lap wizard to tailor advice to your individual handling problems really makes all the difference. Have you always wanted a knowledgeable engineer by your side? Well, Virtual Race Car Engineer is just that, and means tuning your personal race car setups couldn't be easier.